Okay, next we want to bring up Marshall Gobudi, and he's going to tell us about he's leading the way to net zero plus communities. Marshall is the Pearl Homes founder and is nationally recognized as a pioneer in the green building industry. The Mirabella community in Bradenton, right next door, is one of the first to achieve LEED Platinum certification, the U.S. Green Building Council's highest mark of sustainability on a production build scale. So let's hear it for Marshall Gobudi.
Marshall, hope I said that right. You did, yeah, did a great job. Thank you for inviting me. Thanks for inviting me. And where's our wonderful Peggy? Thank you, Peggy and the USGBC, for paving the way for us to do this. I've got a timer on, so I'll make this as efficient as I can. There's a couple things I want to cover. Firstly is, how do we get into this? How did we become a home builder that isn't only concerned about how fast we can turn something? And we came through this, oh, there's a timer right here, even better. Very innocently, because as a new builder in the community, we came in to do just like everyone else. And we were working with a construction company at the time out of Sarasota, actually, called Synergy. And the president of the company was pushing us towards more environmental consciousness, and I wanted nothing to do with it. I'm the same guy that had a boat, and I'd empty my tanks. I didn't care. And what's interesting about that is we've come from there to here in my lifetime, which is really interesting because we know millennials and we know people that aren't this age. Yes, I can live in Mirabella. I can actually move in there. They are actually very well aware of it. It's us, the people that have done the damage to the planet, that really, in your lifetime, to go from one extreme to the other is something I would say is an amazing process. So now we built our first two homes, and I'm going to accelerate this as much as I can. We've closed 140 homes, and 100% of them have been LEED Platinum. And the reason why we focused on LEED Platinum is because we didn't know any better. The USGBC and Mahesh, who's the president of the USGBC, the direction and their energy and their drive to create more sustainable homes, and we know they do it for museums and we know they do it for airports, but to do single family homes was something that was new. And even on our construction plans, we have the schematics and specifics to achieve LEED Platinum. We went in just for LEED to get some status, and we ended up with being able to manage the actual platinum process and making sure that we do a great job on every home. And I have one quick anecdote from Mirabella where one of our first 20 homes or so, a lady, fantastic tan, she doesn't quite understand that it's not the best thing to do layout in the sun, and very small bikini, very green hair, and she's screaming at me, "Marshall, I gotta see you." I'm going, "Oh, Barbara, uh-oh." And everybody's around, and she's flopping, and she's running towards me. And I said, that nice young man, and this was one of the inspectors for the USGBC that would come and verify that we did the insulation, we did everything correctly. That young man told me that in our garage you missed some insulation. I said, "Barbara, that's good." And she said, "Why is that good, honey?" Verbatim, I'm not kidding. And I said, "Barbara, because if there wasn't a third party verifying, how would you know what we put in your home?" Oh. So I said, until we have to fix this, then we'll have the USGBC come out one more time to verify, and then we'll have a LEED Platinum certificate for your home. Oh, I get it. So that nice young man was the kid that obviously from time to time, over 15 times during the construction process. And that's also elevated our own construction trades. They're all more aware of everything simply because of the fact that we verify everything. I'm going to talk about our new community. It's called Hunters Point, and the home that is being built there is called the Pearl Home. It's a very interesting name. It's a magnificent home that's very hard, and that's great work you're doing, by the way. That's wonderful, thank you. When we talked about the hurricane standards, we're in Cortez, which is northwest Bradenton, and it's in a flood zone and a hurricane zone, so we're very cognizant of using these components in our home to achieve the net zero plus. One of them is, of course, wood, because this timber in our area, the government in Florida, and the way we manage our resources, it's a sustainable product, as everybody knows. And we're using carbon fiber and steel. So we have three components in these homes. This is this is an image of the home. We're actually building this home. It's called our words are RDC. It's a research and design center, but it's just actually an amazing warehouse. And we've built the home in this warehouse and the solar panels are on the outside of the warehouse, obviously. And we've been able to go off grid with this home from day one. And it was actually done unintentionally, because when we came to hook up the solar panels to the home, we realized that home building, residential power is a lot different than industrial power. So we didn't have an inverter. So that first day, we went live off the solar panels, and we've been operating since then. I just came back from Greenbuild, and I did this is a longer presentation, but we've partnered up with a company called Sonnen, and anybody that is aware of the fact that solar is one issue, managing the solar power is our challenge. It's not just creating solar power, because we know at nighttime, when you're sleeping, that grid is still running. Those plants are still creating power. Where does that power go? It goes into the ground. So our solution at our community at Hunters Point, and then our next community called Our Lives, which is a active lifestyle rental community that's in Ellenton. It's going to be in Ellenton. It'll be 720 units, single and multifamily. And the important part of that, it will not be for sale community. It'll be a rental community. And the reason why we're doing that is that you do not have to be rich to afford sustainable housing. And we don't say the word affordable because when you say affordable, you think it's government subsidized. It's absolutely not. But we're fitting into the right price point on a monthly basis that we actually fall into the affordable handle. And that's the second project. So we have about 1,200 units in the pipeline of this exact net zero plus home. And I'm very sensitive to talk about net zero, because when you say net zero, a lot of people are saying, home builders, can you believe that? They would actually misrepresent something. Shocking on that. Not us, of course. But most important part of that is when you say net zero ready, that's almost essentially saying, well, you have appliances if you put them in your home. So net zero ready is a lot different than net zero. We've been able to, and it's a process, and the experience at the USGBC's Greenbuild 2 weeks ago in Chicago was we were showing the timeline from the minute that we plugged in until now. Like on my phone, I can actually see exactly what power we're consuming. So that day that I was presenting, we were 97.1 we generated in the last 24 hours on our own. And there's something very inherent and very commendable as an owner when you think of the fact that you're self-generating. That's a huge, very, very powerful feeling, because you're now not using your utility. The utility's there as a backup, but at the same time, you're self-generating your power. And people in Europe do this all the time, but for us, it's a new experience. And when you look at your phone and you see what you did during the day, that your self-generation exceeded what you required, it's really impressive. And I'm going to talk through some slides. So what's interesting about our Pearl home is that just like LEED, the USGBC, the Department of Energy verifies every single home that says is net zero. So the fact that it's third-party verified is great for us. That's the way we operate. And we're able to produce more power than we use. But it's important to notice that we take our power, and with our sun and battery system, we're actually able to, I'm going to get a shot of this for you, we're actually able to keep it on site, and then when we engage with the utility in the future, sorry, you ready? When we're able to engage with the utility in the future, we'll have excess storage capacity in every single home. And then, so somebody, if you're hypothetically FP&L, because we all are here, someone in Miami, we can download, FP&L can utilize that power that at nighttime that they would have put into the ground, put that onto our battery system, and then draw it back in the morning. So our first community of 148 homes, and the next one of 720, they are essentially virtual power plants. And this is what is the real game changer. And it's not just harnessing the solar power, but it's managing the power. Because the last thing utilities need is more power and no control over it. And that's the solution that Sonnen brings to us. And there's a lot of slides, a lot of interesting things, and I'm down to 38 seconds. But the most important part of it, I think, is I'm feeling like I'm in a community of people that get it, and it's hard to feel that. And what we're able to do is do something that no one is doing. And the reason why they're not doing it is because they don't have to. Business would be great. I could do 3 more Mirabellas, even at a LEED Platinum level. It's great. It's an achievement. You know, we've created a new culture for home building. But this is taking it to the next step. And I have a feeling that someone's up here to push me off. There's no cane. But I'll be happy to discuss anything. Peggy, I love you. You're the best. If it wasn't for this lady here, the USGBC wouldn't even know who we are. I mean, that's how amazing grassroots efforts that you do are meaningful. And Peggy is a perfect example of met her, came in, never met her before in my life, and she transformed us into be a leader in home building simply because she really felt it and meant it. So really to you, because you're here today, thank you for doing what you're doing. That enables us to do what we want to do. So thanks very much.
Oh, you want to go there? Thank you, sir. You got it, man. You got it.